Welcome to my tarot card reading for the month of, for the year 2015, Brazil 2015. We have Elegua, we have Obatala, and the Sun. Remember that for me, the Sun represents the Trimurti, which is Brahma, the creator, Krishna, the one that sustains everything, and Shiva, the one that recycles, the destroyer, the ones that bring things to an end in order to bring new things. And here we have the creator bringing new things. Obatala, who is also the creator or took part on the creation, is also represented here, all dressed in white, peace, but also clarity of mind, because he's the ruler of the head. Notice that he's walking towards Elegua. He's blocking the road. He's stepping right at the door and not letting anything happen. There is a blockage. There is a stagnation or a stasis going on, or is going to be manifested during this time of the year, during 2015. We could say that a new wave of protest, upheavals, riots, civil disobedience, if that's really exists in Brazil, is going to emerge. But it also could mean that politicians, the governors, judges, anyone that is related with government is walking toward decision, rules, whatever it is that they're going to do in order to remove that blockage, that blockade that is going to be manifesting during 2015. We have to pay close attention to see what it is all this about. But as soon as we start reading the rest of the cards, the topic is going to be more evident. Okay, so let's pay closer attention. Here we have the second part of the reading, and we have the Devil, the Queen of Pentacles. Notice that here we have Saturn, Capricorn, Mars, and the Queen of Pentacles representing the throne of Capricorn. We have Saturn and Mars again. This could be represented in many ways differently. Everything is yin and yang, and these are the possible outcomes and interpretation of these two. First of all, Saturn is a very practical planet. It is all about hierarchy, rules, following outlines, protocols, and all this kind of stuff. Mars is all about new beginnings. He's also a warrior, and he's a free spirit. Therefore, number one, we could be talking about new laws, committees or whatever organization is going to be created, new laws, new organizations, etc., etc., new hierarchies. That's what we're talking about. New impositions, new rules that in some way, somehow are going to limit the liberties or freedom of the public, of the citizens of Brazil. That's what we're talking about. Or it could be laws that in some way, somehow, they're going to restructure more the livelihood of everyone in Brazil. Mars is a planet that I like to call the free spirit. He's very impulsive, and he doesn't like the rules. He likes to be free. He's a very it's a free energy, and he's feeling constrained. This is a negative way of seeing it. Therefore, we could say revolts, upheavals, riots against laws, or whatever it is that is a burden, is an obstacle for the citizens, is an obstacle for financial, economic, and social politics growth. This can come from the people or from the government, but the energy is there. How it's going to manifest, that's different. Highly probable it's going to come from the citizens and not the government, but anything is possible. But this is the energy all about. What it's talking about, there are things that are an obstacle, and it's highly probable related with laws. New laws are going to be passed, and they're going to be established, and is going to regulate more life. In a financial, economic aspect, it means that the government is going to create laws that is going some way, somehow limit options, etc., within the investment or investing world. Okay, so let's see what it is. This could be, for example, protectionism. So, to give an example, from a citizen perspective, it could mean that they revolt, they protest, they riot because of certain laws, certain rules, and certain bureaucracy that they don't agree with. Okay, that's the whole spectrum of the reading so far. Let's keep paying attention to the next reading. Okay, here we have the rest of the reading. We have here the first trimester of 2015 for Brazil, and it is all about pain and suffering. The first 3 months is all about suffering, so we have to pay attention what kind of suffering it is. I don't know when it's the rainy season for Brazil, but natural disasters might be contemplated in this reading. Is like a landslide, is like rocks coming down and water coming down with the rocks. That's the kind of feeling that I'm getting. But regarding finances, economy, and politics, obviously it's going to be a very heavy environment tinged with a lot of grief, suffering, kind of negative in that sense. It's going to be a very heavy 3 months for Brazil 2015. Okay, let's pay attention how it manifests. But financially, economically, it's highly probable means that financially is going to be a very tough trimester for Brazil. Politically speaking, the same way, it's going to be a very, very difficult time, the first 3 months of 2015. By the second trimester, we have the Queen of Cups, which represents Scorpio. Therefore, it's all about changes, but it's also all related with debt. This is obviously letting us know that there's something closely related with debt, stagnation, stagflation, whichever way you want to call it, but there's something that gets stuck, it's not going to move, and is very related with debt, especially the second week of 2015. I mean trimester. We also have to consider that this is highly possible that this represents a very important figure. It's a female that has a lot of influence in the government. I don't know if the president is a female or not. I'm inclined that it's a president. The president of Brazil is a female because it feels that way. And I don't follow Brazil that much. I have enough with United States and Europe Russia and China. But this is what it feels like. And the woman is a very cold person in every single manner. She's like an iron fist, very cold, without feelings, I could say. By the third trimester of 2015, this is all about unveiling. This is about the truth comes out. It doesn't matter how hard it is done to keep the truth from emerging. The truth is going to be out there for everyone to see. So this is going to be a time for secrets to be revealed. The reality, the political reality of Brazil is going to be very obvious. Not only politically speaking, but financially and economically speaking, is going to be very obvious. The people are going to awake. They're going to see things as they are. Financially, investors are also going to see the reality of Brazil. The last trimester is all about coming to an end. Is a chapter that is going to close. Something comes to an end. The phase, the stage, reach its point. Okay, now, when we put together this as vertical and horizontal line, what we get is the following. We have the Three of Swords and the Two of Swords, letting us know that there's going to be a cathartic process, if we call it like that. We can call it a metamorphic process, where in Brazil and investors, that pain and that suffering is going to elicit that cathartic process, where there's some way, somehow, the blindfolds are going to fall. They're going to see things as they really are. The reality is going to be there in the open for everyone to see. The horizontal line is letting us know that something is going to come to an end. It's closely related with this figure, this female person that is that has a lot of power in Brazil. I would say that this is her last year, if she's a president, still a president for 2015. This is going to be the last term for her, technically speaking. Something is going to come to an end. This is also talking about debt. Debt is bringing the end of a new the end of a chapter in Brazil history. We have to pay attention what it is that is bringing all this dynamic to Brazil. Protectionism is going to be a magic word during 2015. We have to take it under consideration because we had Saturn there. So protectionism, currency war, is a high possible outcome in the finances, economy, and politics of Brazil. Okay? Now, when we put together the horizontal and vertical line, we create what I call the existential vortex. And we have the Hermit and the Three of Staff. And this is all about news or awaiting for news. We have the Hermit that might hint us that there's going to be a lot of introspection, and we have a lot of swords for Brazil in the tarot card reading. So there's going to be a lot of thinking, a lot of mental process, a lot of introspection going on, a lot of auto-analysis, we could say that. Or we could see or say that the light has been turned off and is dark. Might mean that there might be a little bit of confusion. There is no idea which way to navigate the waters of finances, economy, and politics in Brazil. But the Three of Staff is letting us know that Brazil, be it the government or the people, are awaiting for news, for analysis. There's something that they're waiting for, and it's highly related with news or analysis to shed light into the situation that Brazil is going to face during 2015. Okay? Well, we have here the other part of the reading, what I call the trilogy. And notice that the trilogy is composed of the world, the tower, and the Knight of Swords, which also represents Aquarius. Impulsiveness. When someone takes action in a very impulsive way. The end of something and the collapse. So the tarot cards are explaining or letting us know that Brazil is going to come to a period where something is going to collapse. It could be the government, something is going to come to an end. I don't want you to start thinking into the end of the world when I say collapse. I'm just saying that something is coming to an end, abruptly coming to an end, that is going to shake the foundations of everything in Brazil. It could mean that the exchange, like in United States, Wall Street, is going to see a drop in value. Shares might fall drastically in Brazil. The currency might be devalued abruptly, or it loses value against the dollar. That's what I'm trying to say. That kind of dynamic, it could be foreseen in the financial world. Export, imports might be affected. That might be what the tarot cards are saying about the drop. And politically speaking, we have also to pay attention because it is talking about a collapse, something that comes to an end. Could it be that is highly probably related with this woman that has power and is very influential in the politics of and the economy of Brazil? Could it be that is also vaticinating a big scandal that is going to shake everything in Brazil? We have to pay attention. But what we know and what I can say is that there's going to be a lot of riots, upheavals, marches from the people. From the government, we could say that the government is going to react in a very impulsive way, very fast, quick, and we have to pay attention to all this dynamic. When we look at this, we have the Five of Swords and the Three of Swords. Notice how many swords we have. And this is about failure, feeling that we have lost a battle, that feeling of failure, and is going to be kind of a very very sensitive topic for Brazilians. Painful. We have the Eight of Staff here, and the Eight of Staff is upside down, and the Two of Swords that is next to it is talking about an obstacle, stagnation, stagflation, if you want to call it like that. Something that gets stagnant, stasis. But the thing is that it comes to light. It's going to be very obvious. It's going to be out there in the open for everyone to see. This situation is going to open the eyes for many Brazilians and to the worldwide companies, governments, etc. It's going to be an eye-opening experience. It's closely related with debt and finances. So we have to keep an eye open on this dynamic. Okay? But that's what we have for Brazil 2015. Here we have the last portion of the reading. We have the Ace of Cups representing the Lamb. that is bleeding. We have a 6 of coins with a bird that is feeding the kids, the chicks, I mean, with its own blood, both making reference to sacrifice. And then we have St. Andrew, the first disciple, and the first one that saw Jesus making miracles, the bread and the fishes, to be more specific. But notice that all of them are upside down, and it, very simply put, is letting us know that even then there's going to be a lot of talk, and it's going to seem that everyone is trying to make peace and trying to come to a solution for this stagnation. No one is willing to make a sacrifice. And the tarot cards are saying that if there is no sacrifice, we are not going to see any kind of miracles. There's not going to be any change. Okay? So the obstacles are going to be there. It's going to be very obvious. We're going to start seeing it. And don't be surprised if Brazil makes it out again in the news, in the worldwide news. And this is what we have for Brazil 2015.